All right, this is Senora de Vries continuing with Esperanza Rising. Tio Luis and Tio Marco came every day and went into Papa's study to take care of the family business. At first, they stayed only a few hours, but soon they became like La Calabaza, the squash plant in Alfonso's garden, whose giant leaves spread out, encroaching upon anything smaller. The uncles eventually stayed each day until dark, taking all their meals at the ranch as well. Esperanza could tell that Mama was uneasy with their constant presence. Finally, the lawyer came to settle the estate. Mama, Esperanza, and Abuelita sat properly in their black dresses as the uncles walked into the study. A little too loudly, Tio Luis said, "Ramona, grieving does not suit you. I hope you will not wear black all year." Mama did not answer, but maintained her composure. They nodded to Abuelita, but, as usual, said nothing to Esperanza. The talk began about bank loans and investments. It all seemed so complicated to Esperanza, and her mind wandered. She had not been in this room since Papa died. She looked around at Papa's desk and books. Mama's basket of crocheting with the silver crochet hooks that Papa had bought her in Guadalajara. The table near the door that held Papa's rose clippers, and beyond the double doors, his garden. Her uncle's papers were strewn across the desk. Papa never kept his desk that way. Tio Luis sat in Papa's chair as if it were his own, and then Esperanza noticed the belt buckle. Papa's belt buckle on Tio Luis's belt. It was wrong. Everything was wrong. Tio Luis should not be sitting in Papa's chair. He should not be wearing Papa's belt buckle with the brand of the ranch on it. For the 1,000th time, she wiped the tears that slipped down her face, but this time they were angry tears. A look of indignation passed between Mama and Abuelita. Were they feeling the same? "Ramona," said the lawyer, "your husband, Sexto Ortega, left this house and all of its contents to you and your daughter. You will also receive the yearly income from the grapes. As you know, it is not customary to leave land to women, and since Luis was the banker on the loan, Sexto left the land to him." "Which makes things rather awkward," said Tio Luis. "I am the bank president and would like to live accordingly. Now that I own this beautiful land, I would like to purchase the house from you for this amount." He handed Mama a piece of paper. Mama looked at it and said, "This is our home. My husband meant for us to live here. And the house, it is worth 20 times this much. So no, I will not sell. Besides, where would we live?" "I predicted you would say no, Ramona," said Tio Luis, "and I have a solution to your living arrangements. A proposal, actually. One of marriage." "Who is he talking about?" thought Esperanza. "Who would marry him?" He cleared his throat. "Of course, we would wait the appropriate amount of time out of respect for my brother. 1 year is customary, is it not? Even you can see that with your beauty and reputation and my position at the bank, we could be a very powerful couple. Did you know that I, too, have been thinking of entering politics? I am going to campaign for governor. And what woman would not want to be the governor's wife?" Esperanza could not believe what she had heard. Mama marry Tio Luis? Marry a goat? She looked wide-eyed at him, then at Mama. Mama's face looked as if it were in terrible pain. She stood up and spoke slowly and deliberately. "I have no desire to marry you, Luis, now or ever. Frankly, your offer offends me." Tio Luis's face hardened like a rock and the muscles twitched in his narrow neck. "You will regret your decision, Ramona. You must keep in mind that this house and those grapes are on my property. I can make things difficult for you, very difficult. I will let you sleep on this decision, for it is more than generous." Tio Luis and Tio Marco put on their hats and left. The lawyer looked uncomfortable and began gathering documents. "Vultures," said Abuelita. "Can he do this?" asked Mama. "Yes," said the lawyer. "Technically, he is now your landlord." "But he could build another house, bigger and more pretentious anywhere on the property," said Mama. "It is not the house he wants," said Abuelita. "It is your influence that he wants. People in this territory loved Sexto and respect you. With you as his wife, Luis could win any election. Mama stiffened. She looked at the lawyer and said, "Please officially relay this message to Luis. I will never, ever change my mind." "I will do that, Ramona," said the lawyer, "but be careful. He is a devious, dangerous man." The lawyer left and Mama collapsed into a chair, put her head in her hands, and began to cry. Esperanza ran to her. "Don't cry, Mama. Everything will be all right." But she didn't sound convincing, even to herself, because all she could think about was what Tio Luis had said, that Mama would regret her decision. And that's where we are going to stop for today. Thank you. Please answer the discussion post.